Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. So, we've had a pretty great run up in the last 24 to 48 hours, and the market is just exploding. And what's insane to me is that we are undervalued. So before we jump into the charts, I just want to remind everybody that today yesterday I put out a post where I said I'll be giving away a Tangem wallet. And we're going to do that at the end of this show, what shouldn't take too long. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually using Grok to use this. This is super Grok. And I asked the question already, and it's in the background thinking. So hopefully it'll be done by the time we come back. So stick around for that. Tangent wallet winners. And of course, if you don't win, it's okay. You get a discount in the description, 10% off. I think an additional 5 as well. Just follow that link for Tangem, cold storage devices, kind of important as we're making new all-time highs. So this is what we're talking about today. And this is from Ben's website. Also links in the description. You get 5% off, or 10% off the first month, excuse me. And what I take a look at is the crypto market cap and trend line. What I was surprised to see about this one is that, first of all, let me zoom in so everybody can see this. So you got the total market cap, which is in blue right here, right? And we've done pretty well as time has gone on. In 2011, the total market cap was a whopping $5.2 million. And then a little bit of drop. And then in 2011, we had a market cap of 106.6. This is 5th of June. Moving forward, June 2011. Jeez. 113 million. Wouldn't those be great? And then, of course, we dropped off. And then we go again. We hit it again, 2013. Now we go over the 10 billion to a total market cap of 13 billion. What I want you to notice is this red line right here. This red line is the fair market value, which is what we can assume would be a reasonable price as far as the market cap of the entire crypto space. And we can see that at times, especially in the beginning, it was quite overvalued, very frothy. But then what usually happens is we have these blow off tops. Of course, I still believe the 4-year cycle is still in effect until maybe we have a major run up going through 26, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But you're going to see that it was way above the fair market value. Then it collapsed below because we usually have a blow off top, and then we have a reset and a trough. And we see that happens here again. And in 2017, we went above the fair market value, went way above. And here we are at 739 billion as of December 17, 2017, 587 billion, 739 billion on 3rd of January. We can see, obviously, that there's a lot more valuation above the fair market value. And then, of course, it tumbles and goes down. Same thing happened in 2021. I'm not going to bore you. You know what happened. But you can see that in 2021, we didn't hit the upper band, which would have put us at $2.3 trillion, which today we're roughly at, just for posterity, we're like around 4.15, 4.18, somewhere around there, $1 trillion. So back then in 2021, this was a big thing when we hit over 2 trillion. Now it's just like, if we go back down 2 trillion, everybody's crying. So, but we didn't hit the fair market value, the upper band, which would have put it at 6 trillion, which would have been pretty amazing. 2.5, not too bad. And then we come again, upper band at 7.86 trillion, didn't hit that. So what I was amazed today to see was as we come here, the fair market value, this is 3rd of August. Total market cap is 3.7 trillion. Fair market value 4.15 trillion. Let's zoom in, see where we're at. Look at that. The fair market value is 4.18 trillion. Total market cap is 4.06 trillion. 4.14 trillion, I should say, I'm sorry. And the fair market value is 4.1. So just below the fair market value. And what's amazing to me, let me reset this, is that, well, first of all, I'm not a TA guy. I'm just not. But they'd like to draw these lines and where things are going. Is this going to be, is this a double top, or is this, there's areas of resistance and all that stuff? Great. But if you just draw a line, from the top here, 2018, and down to here, I don't think we're going to hit this upper top threshold. And again, I still believe that the 4-year cycles are intact. And if we can see here, let's just say, for giggles, that we go through the end of November. The upper band is $45 trillion. $45.07 trillion. I don't think we're going to hit $45 trillion. If we hit that for a market cap, that's like a 10x, 20x of everything. I mean, it depends, obviously, right? And it just depends on what flows into what. The fair market value, though, was $4.72 trillion. Now, in every blow off top, we have gone above and beyond, have we not? 2021, above the fair market band. 2017, above the fair market band. 2013, and even the 2011, which a lot of people forget, even including myself, we are above that. So if we say that, okay, 27th November, the fair market value will be 4.72. That's pretty good, right? Considering that we're only at 4.1. But if we're above that, could we be somewhere in the middle between 4.7 trillion and 45 trillion for the market cap? I like these numbers because they give you a range, and it's kind of like what I do with all my price predictions. I can't tell you where we're going. I can't tell you exact numbers. But if we just, I don't know, split that in half, wouldn't we be over $10 trillion, which would be double where we're at now? Maybe 20 trillion, depending, if we can hit that. Imagine that. And I know people think, well, that's ridiculous. We can't go that high that fast. Look, I was around 2017, and I was around 2021, and I'm around now. And I can tell you, back when things ran up, it melts your face because you never thought that it would go that high, and then it did. And every single time that happens, everybody gets the same idea. It's never going to go down, up forever, diamond hands, bro. This time is different. I'm just telling you what it is every single time. So just get ready for that next sweeping thing. I think personally we're going higher. Correct me in the comment section. You're welcome to talk about it. But for me, I just see some pretty big numbers coming, and that scares the hell out of me. And this is why. It's because, and I put this tweet out yesterday, I said historically in bull markets, Bitcoin peaks first. We check the pi cycle top, and we got a bunch of different top signals. There's a link in the description where I go over 8 or 10 of them, and I talk about when I'm going to sell 80% of all my crypto. And then it goes to high cap alts. You guys know this. Ethereum, BNB, the blue chippers, Solana, ADA, and that peaks within about 1 to 3 weeks afterward. Then it goes down to mid and low caps, such as like AVAX. I mean, AVAX and NEAR are kind of up there. SWI, meme coins, I mean, stuff there in the hundreds, 200s, 500s, 1,000s. And that can run for another 2 to 6 weeks. And that's why, of course, we see that the market cap goes up, even though the price of Bitcoin goes down. We saw that in 2017. We saw that in 2021. I think we're going to see that in 2025, 2026. And I said here, time is limited. Be ready, because that euphoria hits hard. And there is no greater dopamine hit than when you see your portfolio go to the effing moon. And that's pretty much what's going to happen. So I need everybody to get locked in. And we're going to start talking about these things a little bit more. I want to share with you, and I can't share with you everything. This is Ben's site. If you want this on a daily, you better sign up. Links in the description. But there's these things called risk levels. And we can just see here that the highest risk asset right now, as far as fiat risk, let me share it. Hope you can see that. There you go. Is XRP. And the reason is because it moved up so massively because they crushed the SEC, which they should have. Good deal. Now the next one is Ethereum. Look at that. 0.73. The next one is Tron, then Solana, and congratulations, Solana holders. You guys really crushed it today. I think it's 20% up. Stellar, Chainlink, Aave, Cardano, and Bitcoin is only at 0.572. So just to give you a range of, well, first of all, this is why I use these risk levels. Let's just take a look at XRP. 0.7 is pretty damn high at $3.27. Now, I know the XRP army say, well, it's going to go to $589, Rob. Okay, sure. But if you take a look at these ranges, to go to 0.85 at $3.96, 0.925 at $5, and then a perfect 1.0 at $6.46, you better believe most people are going to be taking profits, if they haven't done so already, at around 0.82, 0.85, 0.9 levels. They got them marked. And nobody takes bigger profits than Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse. Okay, maybe that went a little bit too far. I'm sorry. But you get what I'm talking about here. These are the things that we want to look at. Also, this is a good one. Crypto risk indicators. We need to start checking these. This is an aggregate of all the different indicators going through, say, like total market cap risk, Bitcoin risk, fear and greed, 12 multiple, transaction fees, terminal price, blah, 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 right? And social metrics, which are sucking right now, I might add. But what I want you to notice that look at the 0.6 levels and above. In the price metrics, 0.5999. Okay, you got me. Whatever. I think it's close enough. That takes into account total market risk, Bitcoin risk, market cap and trend line, logarithm regression, calendar quarter, fear and greed, and it gives us a number of 0.59. This is one of the blow-off top in 6th of November, 2021. On-chain metrics, 12 multiple, transaction fees, all that stuff, right? Gives us 0.672, and then the social was unbelievably high. That gave us a summary of 0.73. I'm telling you, when we start to see these tick up to 0.6 and above, those are times that maybe you want to start to think about, maybe we should take profits. We can do this in 2017. Look how crazy that went. In 2013, the first two, the price metrics on-chain were pretty spot on, but the social metrics weren't being followed. And you can see it here. This social metrics is dead flat. And I think it's because if you're into ETFs and you're an investor or you're some institution, you're not watching YouTube videos or TikTok or following a bunch of people on Twitter. You're just not. And I think these social metrics are dead because retail is not here. Although I did see a post from Coin Bureau where he said that the altcoin Google searches are now hitting all-time highs, I think, over the last 2 years. So maybe retail will come back. Regardless, look where we're at in the price metrics and on-chain metrics. On on-chain, we're almost at 0.6. On price, we're at 0.48. I think those will go up, and it's something good to take a look at. And if you're just kind of like, I don't want to do all that stuff, Rob. Cool. There's one from CoinGlass, and I know people are asking about this. Coinglass.com. CoinGlass. I didn't link in the description. I'll try to do it later. I apologize. But what this is great is it's telling you right here, here are the top 30 indicators. And it's telling us that they haven't hit yet. There's the progress of how close it is. I don't even know what the heck this is. Bitcoin AHR 196, sure, or 99. Pi cycle top, we've covered in depth. 12 multiple, Bitcoin mature, yes. It's getting closer. I remember when these were like 10, 20%. Now we're at 65, 39, 60, 73% ETF to Bitcoin ratios, and so on and so forth. It won't let you break them down. It'll just kind of give you like a general, like run-of-the-mill type of thing. Ooh, look at this one, the golden ratio multiplier, 88.59. So again, CoinGlass, you want to take a look at that. We need to start checking these because as time goes on, it's important that we at some point think about taking those profits. And then lastly, before we get into the gold ETFs and Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs, I just want to remind everybody that as far as monthly returns, September is usually a pretty bad month, although August is usually pretty decent, especially in the blow-off top years. So 2021, it was August was 22% increase, even though the next 3 years it sucked. And then 2017, again, blow-off top, it was up 77%. Then in 2013, it was up 30%. But every other year that's not like a blow-off top or post-halving year, you see a big redness. But then in September, historically speaking, is also really bad for traditional markets and ours, except for some reason the last 2 years. In 2024 and 2023, did you know we had a great month as opposed to what it usually is? 6%, 8%. And then, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of blah, 2 years of okay. And then, of course, red, except for what year is this? 2012. So I expect August to hold out and be pretty darn good, but September's up in the air. But just know that if you see like things go down, usually that's what happens in September's. I mean, 2021, it was red. That was a blow off top. 2017, it was red. I think in 2013, yeah, it was also red. So we'll see what happens, but October, November, December are pretty darn good. And lastly, I just want to address the elephant in the room, which is, are the 4-year cycles intact? I still think they will be, but there is a legitimate statement about the fact that there's so many institutions and the ETFs are here, and this is what happened to gold. And people have a point. I'd like to point this out to everybody. We're going to see here, this is the spot price of gold going all the way back to the 1970s. And we can see in here that we had oh God, this is weird, $120 on November, or the 1st of September, 1976. Man, I was 20 years old by that time. Close enough. And then I went to $865. That's a nice 8X. And that's essentially what we're going through now, right? And then some volatile swings as it goes down, and 82, then a little bit of a pump, and then pretty much a big slog of nothing for a long time. And then it bottomed out in 1999. Good times. And then from here, it started to gain some momentum. And then right around November 2004 is when the first ETF hit. And when the first ETF hit, let's see, November, was right here, and the price was roughly $430. And there wasn't this sideways action. There wasn't really much of a winter. It just pretty much went up. So we went from $433 all the way to $1,000. But that sucks. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you went from $433 to $1,000 in 4 years. You just went 2.5. That's boring. But anyhow, it is what it is. And then, of course, we had the Great Recession, 2008, 2009, and went down. But look at this. Went from $711 all the way up to $1,800. So again, another 2.5x. Then it went down to 1,000. So we're looking at 40% drop, which, as a reminder, Bitcoin dropped 87% from 2013 to 2014. It dropped 85% from 2017 to 2018. And it dropped 77% from 2021 to 2022. Those are big ones. Gold, not so much. Then, of course, we can see it went from $1,000 all the way up to $3,400. But how long did that take? 2018, 7 years? No, not too bad. So there is something to be said as far as ETFs to gain a little bit more stability, but there are drawdowns, as we can see clearly right here. But I don't know if it's going to be as big as the drawdowns as what it is. So that's what we have today. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Now let's get into the giveaway. Oh, there was one more thing. Before we do this giveaway, people were asking, I'm in the States. I'm in the United States. Is this going to affect me? Because there was this post that just came out that Google is banning unlicensed Bitcoin and crypto wallets in the United States and Europe. Before everybody boos Google, that's not a bad thing, quite honestly. Have you ever been, first of all, do you have an Android phone? And have you gone to the Google Play Store? It's riddled with scams and malware. I don't know how they get away with that stuff. And also I don't know how Google gets away with running YouTube and putting nothing but scam videos that you probably watch 10,000 times a day, and people get screwed over. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But anyhow, they're banning unlicensed Bitcoin and crypto wallets. Don't worry. What is that? Well, for these types of wallets that are licensed, that means that they are prevalent to KYC and AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering. That's essentially for the banking standards. And the custodial, those would be custodial wallets from licensed exchanges such as Coinbase Wallet, Kraken, Gemini, Binance. International examples will be Bitstamp, Luno, never heard that one. CoinCheck, that's Japan, so I don't know. And then licensed crypto payment platforms like PayPal, Revolut, and Cash App. So you will see them in the Google Android Play Store just fine. And then also, as far as regulated institutional custodians, you got Anchor Digital, BitGo, and Fidelity Digital Assets. They'll have their, I guess they have a wallet in there. I'm not for sure. But this is the big thing. KYC compliant web and mobile wallet service. Excuse me. This is the second big thing. Blockchain.com wallet, Uphold, and eToro. And the big thing is, where'd it go? I got to find it. Oh, I deleted it. Anyhow, here's what it comes down to. Because Tangem is a self-custodial wallet, It is actually still in the crypto wallet or the Google Play Store, so no need to worry. And Tangem as well, or excuse me, Ledger as well will be there and everything in between. So I know people will kind of freak out about this stuff, but you know, so much the better. Some of these wallets were just straight up scams and that's it. Okay, so now that we took care of that, let's go through who gets a Tangem wallet. So I said to Grok, again, Super Grok, can you pick a winner at random from the following post, which is the one that we just see here. They must also have had this requirement. They got to follow me. They got to follow Tangem. They had to comment on it and repost it. Can you pick a winner? And it took 5 minutes plus for them to run that. I got to tell you, Grok is kind of falling behind as far as ChatGPT. And look at that. Let's see. Huracan Martini and Curly Knox. All right. It's a disturbing picture. So I'm going to follow you, Letzi, and I'm going to follow you, Curly Knox, and it's funny. And I will send you a message directly and tell you how to get the Tangem wallet. Hint, it's where I give you 1 Bitcoin, you send me 2 back. I'm just kidding. It's just a little form you got to fill out, and then we'll send it anywhere in the world. That's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everybody talk about is time sensitive. Now let's get into a little Q&A, answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. Oh, before I forget, tomorrow on NFA Live, it's on Ben's channel. So it'll be Ben and Guy from Coin Bureau. I will be indisposed. I will be out and about, so I won't be there, and Nick will be taking my place. I'll have I have a pre-recorded video to do much later in the day, which has to deal with this new tax law, which essentially the one that's coming up is this 1099, and it's already in effect. And essentially the exchanges are writing all you out. And the IRS knows everything about you now. So you need to make sure you file your taxes. And I'm going to show you how to do it with a free tool. Anyhow, that's it. Let's see. Damn, I missed the beginning. Totally unacceptable. That's okay. Yoha says, Tangem is bad because it doesn't have a display. If the phone has a virus, you don't know if they're receiving Bitcoin. That's not true. So when I send different cryptos, like I check the address and I read the whole thing. What I used to do was just read just like the first 4 or 5 numbers and letters and the last 4 or 5. But apparently there's these scammers that will change something in the middle. So I have to read the whole damn thing, which is really a pain, but it is what it is. And it'll show it to you which way it's going. So that's not the issue. I know Ledger will say that, well, you need this. I've had a Tangem now for, well, I've had both. I have Tangem and Ledgers. And I trust them both. I just like Ledger or Tangem better, just easier to use. That's right. E. Halim says, Rob, 0.3 Bitcoin will make anyone a millionaire in the next 8 years. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And then as time goes on, who knows, 0.03 might make everybody a millionaire. And that's it. Pool Man says, swimming pool today, Rob. Yes, there it is. In all its green screen glory. Uzi took profits. That's good. How's your back? It's fine. I think just doing some basic stretches and exercises, just what I need. Got to move to the Bahamas. Yeah, you do. Oh, you know what I need to share with everybody? Did you know, well, first of all, we live in Puerto Rico. And I did this video about Puerto Rico after a year or so, and we talked about real estate. I did not know this, or I had heard about it and I forgot about it. You know how people say like real estate sucks, you got to pay for taxes every year? Did you know in Puerto Rico that they value your house, condo, property at the levels of 1957? There's some weird law that they use, and they appraise your properties from the levels of 1957. So like, even though the tax is like 0.8, 0.82 or something like that, when you get your taxes for going through this, our properties, I was like, why is this so low? It's like 0.3. Like, oh, it's because of this goofy thing that they do, which is fine with me. And they evaluate it from 1957. It's insane. And I'm like, this is the best place to live ever. Anyhow. And yeah, meme knows. Leg stretches and yoga, that's a good one. Yeah, he did the rest levels earlier. You can see it, that's true. Let's see. Polaris says, smash the thumbs up. Guy takes time in his day and everyone to bring you the news. Least you can do is give the show. Yeah, thank you, Polaris. Furrow says, do you manage all your crypto alone? There's always, yeah, pretty much actually. My wife's just like, yeah, do whatever you want. That's it. What's the Bitcoin risk level? It's fairly low. I think it's like 0.53. So pretty crazy. And Dark Energy says, Rob, ever use the Tangem ring? No, I know some people love using the Tangem ring, have it there, but it looks just like this. But this is just a cheapy ring I got from Walmart, like $8. And the reason why is because I tend to lose these things, or they tend to get ripped off, and they're super easy to get back. Anyhow, the Tangem ring, people love it because they can pay for things, NPC scanners, and I just don't want to use them. I don't see the point, because I can count on my hands the amount of time I've used crypto to pay for something out in the wild. Usually it's just transferring things around. Lido, that's a good one. And Rusty Bot's got a good point. You can always send a test transaction and check with the Blockchain Explorer if it went to the correct wallet. That's also true. What meme says, what you going to do with all these wallets when you move everything to an ETF? I'll just hang them around. So that way when somebody busts in or tries to rob me, they can just take the wallets that are empty. So if you guys don't know, there's a video in the description where I talk about portfolio storage diversification, not just diversification of your portfolio. And the reason is because we hear about all these hacks and scams and wrench attacks and social engineering scams, and I'm not going to be that guy. So I've got it spaced around. And lately, in the last week or two, I've actually increased different things to iTRUST, which is a custodial service where you send things in for free. And they have the same custodial service that Strategy uses and BlackRock, which is Coinbase Prime. And I can send it over there, and if I want to take it back, it's in cash. So, and it has to go to specific bank accounts. So I'm doing more of that because I just don't want to deal with it. Now, for you, you're not in the public eye, right? Like me, I'm a target. So you are not a target unless you do something crazy, like say, check out this new Lambo I bought with all my Bitcoin on social media. So for me, I think it's important. For you, it's up to you. If something is free, then you're the product. Digital Asset News taught me that. Exactly. So what I'm going to talk about tomorrow with this free product for this 1099-DA, it's the portfolio tracker that you get with CoinLedger. And of course, since that part is free and you're tracking your portfolio, you just click a button and then all your tax forms get printed out. And you can send them to your tax attorney or your CPA or whatever else. That's the trick. So yeah, same thing. I'm going to have to wrench attack myself to sell during this bull run. But guys, I'm telling you, it's easy. It's easy to buy. It's really hard to sell. But I'm going to really push that narrative, which I did a bad job of that in 2021. But I'm going to be pushing that buy narrative throughout this entire bull run, which, I mean, anything past October, we'll see what the different indicators say. But quite honestly, I think that's the time. Quit Time says, just came in, still not the blow off top yet. Not yet. It's coming. Bobby says, Rob, curious about your risk level exit strategy. Just watch that video and pretty much talk about it there. But usually anything above like 0.75, 0.8, you want to start thinking about taking profits. Liam says, I'm not going to ask you about your price prediction, which is a smart move. What utility do you see Cardano involved in the next 5 years? I think we have like with Indigo Protocol, like I see them doing good things, because the Bitcoin maxis have said it forever, right? They said, just like the base layer that there is as far as HTTP, HTTPS, and then the base layer of the internet, that's Bitcoin essentially for finance. Okay, if that's true, then you guys can't do DeFi. So if you do something like with Indigo Protocol, which is based on Cardano, let's just make that the layer 2 solution, and you can do DeFi on Bitcoin. You can zip things around. And because let's be honest, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to be used as a payment system everywhere. I just don't. I think it's a great store of value, but as far as like the Lightning Network and everything else, maybe. But I think there's another option. So like for me, when I take a look at ADA, I think it's like a really good fit for a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin DeFi. And then, of course, like we've talked about this before, as far as like stability and has it gone down? And it's never gone down. But of course, people will say, well, the reason why it hasn't gone down is because there's not really that many transactions on it. Take a look at Solana. Well, there's pros and cons. We all know Solana went down, right? And of course, some people will start screaming at the screen, but Solana hasn't gone down for 8 months to a year. Got you. Still went down. Had to do it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is. And before anybody freaks out, I own them both. I really don't care which one wins, as long as one wins. And we can go from there. So I see it as that. I also see it as like that really stable option that Wall Street is looking for. And there's a reason why they picked a Ethereum layer 2 solution, like I'm talking about Robinhood and Arbitrum. It's never gone down and it's never been hacked. And I think it's more important they don't lose clients' money than to have a sub 1 second finality. That's just my thoughts. Hey, look at that. Bitcoin reached an all-time high of 122,000. Did it? Let's take a look. Well, that's nice. It's nice for everybody's bags. The market cap is, wow. Well, the title of my video now was correct, because now we're at 4.2 trillion market cap. Yeah, look at that. And Bitcoin is 122,000. Wow. Oof, look at these winners. Solana, 19%, BNB 9%, Ethereum, 28%, Dogecoin. Aren't you happy that you bought these altcoins earlier? I'm just saying. And of course, people will say, well, I could have just bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, and been just fine without taking the risk. And that's true. Why the hell is OKB at 129%? I'm never going to buy an exchange coin again. So congratulations to OKB buyers. I don't know why that even is a thing. Aave up 24%. Mantle 27%. 18% for ETH Classic. Sure. Jito. Well, that's Stake Soul. That doesn't count. Arbitrum is up 43%. Wow. 16%. Yeah. My thesis was always, stable coins and whatever Wall Street picks. Arbitrum sound like a pretty good deal. Then, of course, Ethereum. All the stable coins are built on that, or Tron, or BNB, or Solana. So it's kind of playing out that way. That's pretty cool. Hey, speaking of which, if that's the case, let's take a look at who has hit their all-time highs this year. And look at that. This website's great. It's called coingolive.com. And you can see the date of the all-time high. Why does it say July 14th? Oh, because it was on July 14th, genius. 122,788. And what are we at now? 122,796. So yes, it is at its all-time high. Ethereum's last all-time high was 48.78. It's at 47.23. It's 3% away from the all-time highs. BNB, close. Solana is 31% away from its all-time highs. Huh. Go figure. 66% for Doge. Tron is only 16% away. Hyperliquid, 5%. Stellar is 48%. Ah, that's awful. Let's see which ones are low. Wrapped stuff. You're kidding me. OKB used to be $135. Did not know that. There's not a lot that have actually reached their all-time high. Pay attention, everybody. Pay attention. Yeah, there's a lot that haven't hit their all-time highs. Which ones are doing good? Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, BNB. Tron is only 16% away. Liquid. Swee's not doing so good. So yeah, there you go. Pay attention. Okay. VeChain is going to rip. I can see it. Why not? Luna is far from its high. Speaking of which, did you hear that Do Kwon changed his plea from not guilty to guilty? I think on 3 different charges. That guy's going to jail. Sol is next. Oh, Mike says Bitcoin all-time high at Coinbase is 120. Yeah, see, this is the thing. It's all different. Maybe Mike, because the spreads on Coinbase are ridiculous. If you'd like to learn about spreads and how you're getting screwed over, there's a link in the description. It's called Beat the Spreads because you're getting screwed over. Check that video out. Let's see. Cam says, anybody else feel guilty for telling friends and family 10 years ago and then not getting into it? No. I told friends and family in 2017 and in 2021, and then I was like, this is not a good idea. And then when it's funny because like they only listen to you when things are going up or when things are like really frothy. So then I changed my strategy in like 2023, 2024. I'm like, hey, this is something that you guys should get into. Like I got one brother who's like really big on Visa because he bought Visa back in like 2009 and it did great. It did great. But I'm like, things are shifting. You should probably get rid of that typewriter and maybe get a laptop. And I'm like, hey, at some point you might want to take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and these types of things. And he's like, nope. And I was like, fine. He's like, why would I get into that? I'll look at the price action. And I can't argue with that. So it's the same thing as like to get people to buy in the bear market, they have to first kind of get hosed in the bull market and lose everything. And then they actually do the research and they do better on their second phase. So if you're like that, just let me know because that's pretty much what I did too. Wow, 122.9. Gas fee says, when I got into Bitcoin, everyone who got into it was into Magic the Gathering and 2 neighbors. Now fitness and gym bros are everywhere. Yeah, that's true. Damn, gas fees, you must have been in for a long time. Best time to buy crypto is 2 a.m. any Monday early morning. I can see that. I remember the old days when we had laser eyes to 100K. Yeah, those are good times. Yeah, at least it wasn't Pokemon. I told so many of my friends, now I don't say anything. It's for the best, William. It's for the best. I'm fine for the last 4 years. I'm addicted to yours and Ben's. Sorry. And the most I know aren't involved. That's okay. Well, look, enjoy this time, everybody, before things get crazy. Because as the retail comes in, these comment section is going to get worse and worse and worse. And people are going to get more arrogant and more annoying. And so just enjoy this right now until we get really frothy, which is coming. That's it for today. So like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe. Again, for the 2 winners for Tangem, I'll send you guys a direct message and show you how to do that. And of course, check who's sending you a message. If it's from @newsasset, who has 200,000 plus followers on Twitter, that's the right one. If it's @newsasset with 3 T's, who has 17 followers, that is not the right one. That's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.